Get ready for Oskaloosa High School sports on the Indians Network. Live sports. Local content. Student-run broadcasts. MCG, Oski News, and KIIC bring you the Indians Network. Presented by Craig Ford.
Hello, Indians fans, and welcome to another edition of the Indians Corner here on the Indians Network. And our Indians Corner is presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Indians Network presented by Craig Ford and a partnership with MCG, Oski News, and Thunder Country KIIC in cooperation with the fantastic OVP program at Oskaloosa High School. I'm Jamie Brockman, and we're going to start the program this week by going through results over the past week for Oskaloosa sports, and then we've got a great show for you this week as well. We're going to talk Oskaloosa football with offensive coordinator Brett Dowd. We also have a couple of the seniors joining us today. We got Colton Butler and Cody Gunn will be on the program, and we'll talk Oskaloosa volleyball with Coach Jennifer Comfort, and we'll talk cross country with Coach Mike Comfort as well. Looking back to football this past Friday, of course, Oskaloosa back on the winning side as they defeated Knoxville at home 30-14. Big fourth quarter, 2 scores for Oskaloosa to seal the deal, and 392 yards total offense, including 288 on the ground for Oskaloosa as Will Schultz and Tyler Miller both ran the ball well. Will Schultz over 180 yards and Tyler Miller over 100 as well. Other District 7 results from Friday night: Grinnell defeated South Tama 52-14, and Pella wins big over Newton 42-14. Current district standings with 1 week to go: Pella is 4-0. Grinnell and Oskaloosa are 3-1, but of course Oski did beat Grinnell earlier this year in the head-to-head. And then you've got Newton and Knoxville at 1-3, and South Tama is 0-4. Coming up this Friday night, big one at home, obviously. Regular season finale for Oskaloosa as we host South Tama, a game that Oski will be highly favored in and should be able to put up a lot of points in on Friday night. You'll see it right here on the Indians Network. Pella at Grinnell. That one is one that I'll be watching close to see the final score of, as hopefully Grinnell can knock off Pella and make things really interesting. And then you've got Newton playing at Knoxville to finish out the regular season. And then from there, we wait, and sometime by early Saturday morning, we should know the playoff announcements and pairings, and we'll find out if Oskaloosa is in or out of the Class 3A playoffs. Talking cross-country now, Oskaloosa hosted the Little Hawkeye Conference meet at Edmondson on Monday this past week. The boys came away with a 7th-place team finish, and congratulations to sophomore runner Patrick Durande. Just a sophomore, he finished 11th and earned all conference honors. So big congratulations to him, and we'll talk to Coach Mike Comfort more about that. Caden Girard finished 29th, and Braden Van Kampen 35th for the Oski boys. The girls were 8th, and they were led by Sage Adam, who finished 32nd, was 35th, and Abby Lumsden finished in 37th, as those three were right with each other there in that conference meet on Monday. And of course, coming up, it will be the district meet coming up this week for Oskaloosa. They go to Pella, run on the Central College course. Again, we'll talk to Coach Mike Comfort about that as well, and we'll see if we can get any of our runners to qualify for state. And in volleyball, it was a big week as Oskaloosa sealed the deal on a tie for the Little Hawkeye Conference Championship, winning at Pella Christian on Monday night 3-2 in a thrilling 5-setter. And then they went back to Pella High School on Thursday for the conference tournament, where they came away with a 3rd-place finish in the conference tournament. So congratulations to the girls on that. And now the postseason is here, and it actually starts tonight at Oskaloosa High School Gym. Wednesday night, Oskaloosa will host Carlisle, opening round of the 4A regional tournament, and we'll have coverage for you right here on the Indians Network all through the postseason as Oskaloosa hopes to punch their ticket to the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids and the state volleyball tournament. That gets you up to date on Oski sports over the past week. And coming up, again, we've got a lot to talk about. We'll be joined by Oskaloosa football offensive coordinator Brett Dowd and players Colton Butler and Cody Gunn coming up next here on the Indians Network after this break, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef Arguably the best beef in America, their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! Decision.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Welcome back to the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Jamie Brockman talking Oskaloosa football, and we are joined right now by Oskaloosa offensive coordinator Brett Dowd, and we got a couple players going to join us here in just a little bit as well. First of all, Coach, nice to get back on the winning side Friday night after a week ago. I'm sure you had a much better, restful weekend this weekend than last week.
Yeah, after you take a hard loss like the week before, I feel like the world's going to end. And no, it's kind of a rough week, and it's never as bad as it seems, never as good as it seems. So we took it in stride, and we knew we had to refocus for a very much improved Knoxville team. Well,
let's start and talk about some changes that you guys made. You went kind of back to the drawing board and made some changes offensively. First of all, offensive line. Made some changes there that obviously, we had almost 300 yards rushing, so it was a pretty good change.
Yeah, we're trying to develop a lot of players, but when it comes down to it, we decided in our meetings last Sunday that we need to get our best guys on the field, and it's too late in the season to be thinking about saving guys both ways. And we said, if you go both ways, you go both ways. And a lot of seniors and some guys that we just some guys you're going to talk to here shortly, they're going to have to play both ways and fight through it.
Yeah. Well, again, it looked like the changes obviously were productive. As we just ran the ball very well. You had Will Schultz and Tyler Miller both over 100 yards. Will was over 180 as he went back to quarterback. So, as an offensive coordinator, I'm sure just smiles across the board there.
Yeah. My mindset going into the game was 50-50 because that's something I've gotten away from the last few weeks and felt a little handcuffed in play calling. So that was part of putting Will back to quarterback. Just felt like we have a better opportunity to throw the ball down the field, and it still ended up being like a 75-25 ratio there. So, but yeah, we got it done. We found a little something, and we put Cody in at tight end, and we have Blom at tight end, which is new, and we really ran off of those guys a little bit, and we were able to establish a solid run game.
Sure. Well, we got out to a quick start with the 7-0 lead, and it was through the air as Will connected with Cooper Spry. It was really nice to see Cooper Spry get into the end zone. I'm sure that was exciting for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper came in, and he's a kid that runs solid routes. He's quick, and he has probably the best hands on the team when you talk about receivers downfield. And so it was a big moment for him, and we're going to look to give him some more opportunities moving forward.
So then Knoxville broke an 87-yard run from one end of the field across the field and all the way down to the end zone to tie it up at 7-7, make it interesting. We were up 13-7 at halftime, and then got the field goal in the third quarter to go up 16-7, and then Knoxville closed within 16-14, made things pretty interesting. So what was going through your mind at that point, and what were the talks on the sidelines about there when, late in the game it was anybody's game?
Yeah, that third quarter was interesting. We didn't want to make the win a big factor, but we felt like when we had the win, let's make sure we utilize it, and Knoxville ran a lot of clock. So they did a nice job of keeping our offense off the field. When we did get back on the field, we had a big touchdown called back on a personal foul issue, a flag, and it was easy for our guys to put our heads down and get after and just not fight after that because it was disappointing. Kind of the air deflated a little bit, and I was extremely proud of some of our leaders. We had guys that don't normally lead step up and get our guys going on the sideline, and you could see that in the fourth quarter as we put together two solid drives to finish it off.
Yeah, and that was what I was most impressed with was they didn't fold. It seemed like they refocused and went, okay, guys, we got to win this football game, and came down and scored two big touchdowns to get out with a 30-16 win. A lot of turnovers in this game on both sides. It was fairly sloppy. I think we had 4 turnovers. They had 5. I don't know if I've ever seen a game that had that many turnovers, but what were you seeing that were causing some of those things? Obviously, Will made the one kind of unwise throw, I thought, but other than that, the other 2, I don't know you can pin on Will necessarily, but what were your thoughts on the turnovers offensively?
Yeah, I mean, the first one off of Isaac's hands was just unfortunate. The throw down at the end zone, not a great throw, not a good decision. He did have him open. He just overthrew him, and it just happened to go straight to the Knoxville defender. So that was another unfortunate situation. We're down for 1 yard line, and we have 2 loss of yards plays. So that was the most disappointing part about that turnover. And then Will's third interception was one of those that just kind of slipped out of his hand. And if he throws the ball accurately with a spiral where he was planning to throw it, it's going to be a completion. And so it looks like he just kind of threw it right to the guy. Well, the ball slipped out of his hand, and it just kind of wobbled right to the guy. So yeah, it's just, it's frustrating, but we regrouped well. And then we also had a fumble there where we got to make sure we're going to work on ball security a lot this week. You can believe that.
Yep. So with a sophomore quarterback who started to begin the season, then had the concussion and missed a week, and then filled in other positions for a couple of weeks, now back at the starter, only a sophomore, what do you tell him? What do you talk to him about to try to keep him up when he has 3 interceptions like that?
That he's the quarterback. He's a leader. So you don't have the luxury of being able to put your head down and letting the other guys see that. And that's the message that I sent to him. And that was something in the first few games that he did. He was young. He was, and we were kind of sympathetic to the sophomore fact, but we got halfway through the season. And it was good for him to play some other positions. But now that he's back in that spot, we've had the conversations where you are the leader. Guys look to you for motivation, and you just don't have that luxury.
Yep. What were some other things that stand out to you from that football game as you watched film over the weekend and diagnose it all?
I thought we were very efficient in our run game because of our blocking. I felt like we executed very well. We had some guys step up. We do a Tomahawk Award for Offensive Players of the Week. In the last 2 weeks, we didn't have a Tomahawk Award. We just don't hand it out to hand it out. And I watched film a little late Friday night and into Saturday, and I went to Saturday meetings yesterday morning and said, I feel like we have 3 new guys that could get the Tomahawk. So that was something big that stood out in my mind, where it was just the willingness to go out and play hard and execute and get it done.
All right. Well, we've got one regular season game to go. It's South Tama, obviously a game that will be a highly favored in on paper. I don't think they've won a game this year, but you still got to go out there and execute. So what is your message to the guys this week? You said ball control is a big one, but what are other things that you focus on here for the regular season finale?
I'm treating it like any other game, and that's what I think a good coach would say. I just spent 2 hours looking at film on South Tama and seeing what they're going to give us defensively. So we are going to be prepared. We're going to practice like we would any other week, but we will absolutely focus on us. We need to take care of the football, and we need to come out sharp and play a game. And when we walk off the field Friday night, we need to feel good about how we played.
All right, and then we wait and see where the chips fall, so to speak, whether or not we get awarded a postseason berth. All things are leading to the fact we're either going to be one of the last ones in or one of the first ones out in the 3A field. So I'm sure, I know you don't look past South Tama, but I'm sure you guys have kind of sort of talked about what needs to happen. So can you give us an idea of where you think you will land and what needs to happen, besides beating South Tama?
Yeah, I think there's probably like 3 or 4 games that it's going to come down to. Not necessarily any upsets that need to happen. So we have a good shot of being in as a 16 seed, but we could also be one of the first teams out, and that's kind of where we've put ourselves this year. So it's understandable either way. It comes down to numbers. It's not votes. That's what I like about it, is we don't have to rely on somebody thinking that we should be in or out. So we'll see what the RPI says. It'll be very telling when we look at the RPI come tomorrow when it comes out after week 8. Just to see who's ahead of us and who they're playing and whatnot. But we're going to play this week, and we feel like we have a decent shot to get in. If we are blessed with that opportunity, we're going to be extremely thankful, and we're going to try to take advantage of it.
All right, well, heading into week 9, obviously we've got a couple of players that are out, for the season we know aren't going to be playing. But overall, injury-wise, how are we looking heading into week 9?
Yeah, dinged, as is every team. Butler's you're going to talk to Butler here in a little bit. He played on a rolled ankle this week, and he just sucked it up. And that's what you ask guys to do. So I don't think we have any real serious injuries that we need to be worried about. But guys playing through pain it's this time of year, and people don't understand that about football. A lot of times you step on the field and I wouldn't say you're injured. We talked about the difference between being injured and something that hurts. There's a difference.
Yep.
And you just step up and you play through it.
One last question for you as far as offense goes. Do you put more focus on throwing the football this week? Because in the postseason, that's going to be a big part of the game, I'm assuming. We're going to go against a high-ranked team, and we're going to have to pass. So is that a major focus this week to try and sharpen that up?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a major focus last week, too. We threw the ball a lot in practice, which we had the weeks before, too, but we really focused on our pocket with our O-line, giving us giving good protection. That's something that we did very poorly against Pella. And we put a lot of time and effort into that, because when Cole was quarterback last year, we spent a lot of time on our pocket, and it was very good. And I felt like Friday night, Will had a nice pocket to throw out of, and we talked to Will about pocket awareness. We're not trying to scramble around the edges. We're going to sit in there, sit up tight, and if we need to escape, let's escape up and forward so we don't take any big loss plays. So absolutely, it's going to be a focus, and we know that we need to throw the football. And that's one of the reasons that we put Will back there, because he gives us that downfield threat, as you could see when he went to Cooper, and we threw some other good balls. We didn't catch some of them. So yeah, we're not gonna try to overdo it. I still want to be 50-50 against South Tama. I think that's the best way to go. And yeah.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck to you in Week 9 against South Tama, and then we'll all say some prayers and keep our fingers crossed and hope we get to see at least one more game in the postseason should we be elected to that 3A playoff field. So congratulations. It's been a fun season. I know it's been a little frustrating at times, but we still give ourselves a shot. That's all we can ask for, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. That is Brett Dowd. He is the offensive coordinator of the Oskaloosa High School football team. Here in a minute, we're going to talk with a couple of the players. We're going to hear from Cody Gunn and Colton Butler coming up on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! Decision.
How does MCG Internet stack up against the rest? Our customers' four-letter word to describe us: love. Their customers' four-letter word to describe them: join MCG and fall in love with your internet.
Welcome back to Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. We're going to continue our Oskaloosa football talk, and we've got a couple of players that you see and hear a lot this year out on the football field. We've got number 52, Colton Butler, number 43, Cody Gunn. Guys, thanks for coming in today. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, well, congratulations on the win Friday. That had to be fun. Tell me about the game Friday and how you guys felt coming in and how you felt leaving.
I thought it was a pretty fun game. I thought defensively, I thought we had our most fun of the year. We played a pretty good game. We knew they were going to be physical coming into it, and we just wanted to put it to them and not let them get anything.
And Colton, I know Coach Dowd mentioned it also, but I know you were a little dinged up. You had the ankle. You were questionable coming in, but you were able to go. And tell me about how you felt about your performance.
Yeah, Laura just taped me up before the game good, so I couldn't hardly move it at all, and I just went out there and gutted it out. And by the fourth quarter, I wasn't feeling so good, but I just couldn't run very good, but I just gutted it out the rest of the time. And for my team, because I knew I only have 2 guaranteed games left in my career, and I just wanted to be out there for my guys.
That's exactly all we can ask from you. So I know changes made this week obviously affected both of you a little bit. Let's talk about those. Cody, you're playing a little bit more on offense now than you have been. Your primary role has been defense, but how do you like that role? Is that something you accept and are excited about?
Yeah, so coming in the tight end is really fun for me, I think, because I just like being physical in football. That's my favorite part of the game. So coming in, being able to block and help on offense, blocking, getting run game down, it's just good time. I'm really happy I got to be able to do that.
All right, and Colton, obviously you started the season going both ways, and then they gave you your primary focus was offense, and then now a little defense has got mixed back in. So tell me how you're feeling about your role.
I mean, I've just, ever since I've got off defense, I mean, I can play offense 100% all the time, because when I was a playing defense and offense first game of the season. I was dead coming back to offense, then going back to defense, and I just couldn't block as well as I'm capable of doing. And just focusing more on offense has really helped me be more fresh out there on the field.
All right. And both of you kind of vocal leaders as well. Would you consider yourself that way on the field as far as keeping guys focused and pumped up?
Yeah, defensively I do a lot of the calling for what coverage we're in, calling our checks and everything. So, yeah, I'd say I kind of help out with that a lot.
I know Coach Jenkins a few weeks ago talked about we needed more of that on the football field, and since then I've seen it, and I'm sure you guys have too. And do you think that's made a difference that he's kind of put it more in your hands as far as figuring out where you need to be?
Yeah, defensively I feel like we've been talking a lot more as we've been going for games. We've been talking, and it's just making us better. And we're just working together a lot better than we were at the beginning of the season.
Well, you've had a great season on defense. You're leading the team in tackles, and it just seems that you're always around the football. So you kind of have a nose for the football, and you can tell that you mentioned you like to be physical. You can clearly see that. You like to get in there and get a hit in.
Mm-hmm. That's how I've always liked to play football. I just want to go out there and hit people. And just go as hard as I can all the time.
Exactly. Does wrestling help you at all in that? I mean, as far as tackling-wise, like taking guys down, does wrestling help you there?
Yeah, I'd say tackling does. Sometimes it kind of works against me because taking down in wrestling is a lot slower. So sometimes I get down on my knees and I don't run through tackles as much, but it helps me a lot. So.
All right. Well, Colton, what do you think the biggest improvements have been this year offensively? Like, what are things that stand out to you this year offensively as far as this football team?
I mean, the O-line has just been talking more in the last especially the last game. We were making more dummy calls and stuff, and Noah coming back to O-line really helped with that. Just shouting out random stuff during a play that it doesn't mean anything to, and stuff like that. And also our Noah Ide playing center. He's really stepped up in that role, and when we really needed him to, and just really been effective for our O-line and getting more push as we did against Knoxville. It's really helped out a lot, and Will and Tyler can just find the hole if you give them a chance to, and they can put their foot in the ground and go. Yeah,
it's great to have two quality runners like that back there with Will or Tyler, and both of them just shined on Friday, but they can't do that without a good offensive line up front opening the holes, obviously. So a lot of adversity this year as far as injuries and things that have been just kind of bugging us and plaguing us all year long. A lot of changes in our lineup. So how does that affect you going into the game that week, knowing that, oh gosh, Will's out or Tyler's injured or whatever? Is that something you think about, or you just go out there and play with who you got, so to speak?
I mean, we know Tyler and Will are tough, and we knew that they were probably going to play coming into Friday. I mean, we practice reps without them and stuff like that. As Coach Dowd puts in, we rep all kinds of different people in different spots, so we can be prepared for anything that happens in the game, and just think Tyler's going to play and Will's going to be back. So for that reasons, I mean, our team is just prepared for anything.
Okay. Well, we're going into week 9, final regular season game, and it's home again against South Tama, so you get to play in front of the home crowd one more time. How exciting is that, to walk out of that tunnel and be on the home field? What is that like for you guys?
Well, it will be senior night this Friday, so I think that'll be really fun for us seniors. We'll just have a great time. We're going to be flying around a lot, making big plays. I'm just excited to go out there and play some defense, shut them down.
Okay. So obviously, do you want to kind of end the regular season with an exclamation point? I mean, does that give you a little more added intensity, so to speak, that it could be your final game? You don't know, but you want to go out there and put an exclamation point on it?
Yeah, we for sure want to beat these guys bad. We want to make a statement, and hopefully the state sees that and we can get another shot in the coming weeks.
Okay. Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, we'll find out on, I think, Monday. They will release the final RPI, and we'll find out where we land, if we're in that top 16 or not. But if whether we are or not, what do you guys take out of this season? It's your senior year. It's your last year of football, whether we win a state championship or we don't make the playoffs. Either way, what do you take out of this season, and what memories will stick with you?
I think I've had a great season with my guys. Growing up through high school football, all the seniors have always said it flies by. You're not going to see it coming. It just goes really fast. Never believed it, but this year it really has. From game to game, just flying by. but I've had a great time every practice, all the time, with all my guys.
Okay. Colton?
I mean, felt like my freshman year. I mean, felt like it's only been like 2 months since freshman year, honestly. And for all those like younger guys out there, I mean, it does really fly by. So just enjoy every moment, and just be with your brothers all the time.
And that's another question I was going to ask is what kind of advice would you give to younger kids out there that are out there watching the Indians play on Friday nights? So you guys were there at one point in your lives, and you had to wait to get your chance to get out there on the field. So what do you say to those kids?
I'd say it really does fly by. I know they don't think it right now because I never did, but it really does fly by pretty quick. And waiting your chance, really. Like last year, I think I barely played any varsity last year. I didn't play like any defense. The only time I was on the field was offense this time. But this year I'm starting defense, having a really good year, and it's just waiting your turn, learning from your upperclassmen, all those guys.
Yep. So now, once we're done here with the fall, we roll right into the winter, and I know both of you are going to be active in the winter with basketball and wrestling. So, Colton, how was that transition from football to basketball? It's a pretty quick turnaround. So, how do you prepare yourself to go from football to basketball?
I mean, just icing all the time, getting my body ready, making sure I'm gonna have to like tape my ankles for basketball, or my ankle now for basketball, so I don't like re-injure it or anything like that. So, just taking care of my body and getting ready for the next season. And
then from there, what else? I know baseball. Is there anything else you compete in throughout your senior year?
No, just baseball and basketball that's left after football.
Okay, and then Cody, obviously you're going to be wrestling on the mats this winter. And what are you looking forward to? What are your goals this winter?
Well, the plan's obviously to go to state. Last year I came up a little short, but this year hopefully I can make it there and have a good season. Not looking forward to dropping the weight. Got a couple pounds that I need to lose.
So I was going to ask you that too. As a wrestler, obviously you want to beef up for football, and then you got to lean down, so to speak, for wrestling. How hard is that to do?
It's not hard if you do it right. A lot of kids just drop weight right away, but if you do it right and lose weight a good way, it's not bad.
Okay. So after wrestling, what's left on the docket for you the rest of your senior year?
I was thinking about playing baseball, but I've been having a lot of shoulder problems lately, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Probably just a lot of wrestling.
Okay.
Out of season tournaments.
Okay, and then college-wise, after high school, what are your guys' plans there?
I mean, I'm looking to play baseball somewhere right now. I don't know where yet, and I'm undecided of what I want to do for education.
Okay.
I'm going to go into wrestling somewhere for sure. I've talked to a couple colleges, but nothing serious yet.
Okay. Well, guys, congratulations on the season to date. Good luck to you on Friday night as we close out the regular season against South Tama. Hopefully we get to see you at least one more time. But regardless, thanks for everything you guys have done in the senior class and the memories that you give all of us and yourselves. And go have fun Friday night. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, that is Cody Gunn, Colton Butler joining us here on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. We'll be back with more after this.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Oskaloosa. It's our community, and we're thankful to be a part of it. Telling its stories, sharing its smiles. We're building community, keeping you informed, giving you a voice, letting you know you're never alone during the victories and the losses, happiness and pain. For tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be there, working for you, ready to tell your story. That's our commitment. It's what we do, now and in the future, because we're always on. We're Oskaloosa News.
Welcome back to the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee, here on the Indians Network, presented by Craig Ford. I'm Jamie Brockman. We're going to talk Oskaloosa volleyball now. We have Coach Jennifer Comfort joining us once again, and it is that exciting time of year now where the regular season is behind us and the postseason is ahead, which hopefully takes us on a road to the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids. Coach Comfort, good to see you again. And
yes.
It's been an exciting week this past week for Oski volleyball. You went to Pella Christian, and they pushed you, but you got the win on Monday night, 3-1, and that secured you at least a tie, for the Little Hawkeye Conference Championship. So talk about that night over there and how your girls came out and competed.
It was a very interesting match. It seemed very slow and very quiet. I don't know if it's because of the way the gym was set up or whatever. We were all on one side and all yelling to the other side. It was very unique, but the girls played okay. They did some things really well that we've been working on. We've been talking about playing our positions and doing our jobs and not overreaching and overstepping and those types of things. So they were doing a really good job with that. Defensive responsibilities got better, but we challenged for Thursday to be even better. So that was good to see. We did some things better than we had on Saturday, so that was a step forward that we wanted to take. So I was pretty happy with it. I really didn't expect it to go 5, but when it did, I said, all right, guys, you got to take care of this. It's a good situation for postseason. You're going to be in a situation, and, the next time you're in a situation, it could be win or go home. So, take it seriously, work and focus in the situation and go get the win, and they did.
Yeah, and I misspoke when I said 3-1. It was 3-2. It was 5. You would have liked it to have been 3-1.
Yeah,
but
it was not.
but that fifth set went down to the wire too. I mean, they just didn't let you get out of there easy. 15-13, I think, was the score in that final set.
Yeah, I think we were up 12-8, and so I was like, okay, we just need to side out about 3 more times, or score and a couple more points, and we're okay. And that didn't happen, and that was really the tale of the match too. It was a lot of runs. It was surprising. I don't think we'd had a match this year that we would score 5 points in a row, and then the other team would score 6 points in a row. It was very unique in that sense. Volleyball's a lot more 2 or 3 points, and that's a long run. But yeah, and it was just neither side serve received very well because both sides were serving tough. So it was one of those, there were good things, but there were also some things that we need to work on.
So 3-2 win, and Oski a tie for the Little Hawkeye Conference Championship, that 3-way battle, which was exciting to watch all year long with Indianola, Oski, and DCG. So then you had a couple days to practice, and then you went right back over to Pella High School for the conference tournament on Thursday, and ended up with a 3rd place finish. And I think it kind of played out exactly like everybody kind of thought it might.
Right.
With the 1-2-3 with you, Indianola, and DCG.
Yeah, that was interesting. I knew going in what the seeds were, and then after the tournament I looked at it, and actually Pella's AD was sitting right there, and I said, it finished up just like the seeding. Why do we even do this? But no, it was a good experience to play some really good volleyball against some teams again. Some teams that we hadn't seen since early in the year, and we came right back and played Pella Christian first match out of the gates, and I thought we played a lot better against them, so that was good for the girls to kind of step up and have that challenge again and play well. And then we played Newton, and we played very well the first set, and then we kind of fell asleep that second set, and it was an opportunity for us to talk to them about, you've got to play everybody like they're these games now at the postseason. You can't take a game off, you can't just roll through a match, you've got to step up and play every single set. And then we kind of stayed asleep during the Indianola matches as well. They just didn't snap back. And then once we knew that we were playing Norwalk to go to get for the 3rd place match, they played very well. We had some girls really step up in those games. I thought Taylor Wild played outstanding. At the net. Her serve receive was excellent. We had Jolie Yang back playing back row and Olivia in the front row. We ran a split 5-1. That worked out really well. Olivia does a great job at the net, and then Jolie's still running the show from the back row when she's in there. Defensively, Megan Mormon did her job very well in right back. She was picking up balls, and Riz we were funneling everything across court to her to pick up. And then middles and Jess played really well. Emily and Mary, they were touching some balls and doing some really good things. And Faith had a little bit of a rough night hitting-wise because a lot of teams knew that the ball was going to her, but she played outstanding from the service line. Her runs were a reason why we won most of those matches. So that was a really team-oriented match, and people stepping up and executing in different areas.
So third place in the Little Hawkeye Conference tournament on Thursday at Pella. And now you get several days in between now where it all counts. Like you said, it's win or go home from this point on as the regional tournament starts, and that's the trail to Cedar Rapids. You need 3 wins to get to Cedar Rapids, and it starts on Wednesday.
Yep.
Tonight, actually, at Oskaloosa High School, you get to host Carlisle.
Yes.
So I'm sure you've watched some video or broke down Carlisle a little bit.
Yep.
So we'll talk about them first, and then we'll talk about maybe some things that you're looking for from your girls. But tell me about Carlisle.
So what we know about Carlisle is we played them the first night of the season. It was a quad that we had, or a triangular that we had over at Knoxville. We played okay. It was the third match of the night. We were a little tired, but we still played them pretty well. They've got a couple really good athletes, and they do some good things on the volleyball court. So, you know, it's going to be one of those things where we have to recognize where people are, and then we have to play our game. If we play our game at the level that we need to, I think we'll be fine. If we don't come out ready to play, if we don't execute at a high level, take it seriously, we could be in trouble. But I really do believe that our girls are ready and they're focused. We've been telling them the only thing you need to focus on right now is the first point against Carlisle. Don't look ahead, don't look past anything else. You've got to take care of Carlisle first, because they're going to come ready to play. Their season's on the line, and they've got some very competitive athletes. So it's just one of those matches where, you know, it's not easy, it's not a given for sure. And you know, they've had a pretty good year. Their record's not too bad. And yeah, we just got to come ready to play, and I think we will.
But it is nice to get that first match at home too,
Right,
and I imagine, you know, I mean, it's been great support all year long at the Oskaloosa High School gym by the students and the community. But I imagine it might even be up a notch on Wednesday night.
I think there'll be a little bit, you know, of crisp tension in the air with it being a playoff game. It's definitely a different feeling, and it's not just a, well, you know, it'd be great if we win this, but it's like, hey, we better. So, yeah, I think it's a great honor to host a regional game. The schedule is a lot stricter. You know, they can tell you when you can have balls, we can be on the court, like all those types of things. So, which is great. They're regulated across the state, but I think it's just a different feeling.
So after we beat Carlisle, we then go to Knoxville, and they get a bye first round, so they get to come. I imagine they'll be there scouting and watching.
Right.
And the winner of this plays at Knoxville in the next round. So Knoxville's a team that handed you a loss early in the season as well, and obviously they're you know, they're ranked above us. They're pretty darn strong. So what is it that makes Knoxville so tough?
They're very competitive, and they have a lot of energy. They play some good volleyball. They're disciplined, but they're right at our level, absolutely, no question. And when we played them, again, it was that first night. The girls were kind of still figuring out how to play volleyball, and it went 3, and it was at their place. So, you know, it was a lot closer than the loss kind of says in my eyes. But we know that we've played some really strong competition since. We know we've played, you know, in conference, at tournaments, that type of thing. We've got them on film, some scouting reports, some, you know, plans of what we want to do. We'll be incorporating some of those things because actually Carlisle and Knoxville are very similar. They have their strong hitters on the outside. They have pretty good defense. Their block is okay. The other hitters are okay, but we just know where their go-tos are and who we need to shut down, and really the plan for what we need to do to make sure that we are taking care of our side. So we've got some ideas that we're going to probably be doing against Carlisle that we'll, you know, maybe probably use against Knoxville to find out how things go.
So when we get through those two, then the regional final likely will be at Solon, unless there's an upset in there somewhere. And if there is, it could actually be maybe Oskaloosa would be maybe the host of that. But regardless, most likely it's Solon. And as you look at that, they're a pretty tough team. So you know your final stop to get to Cedar Rapids, you got to be on your A+ game.
Right. So yeah, Washington and Pella are on the other side of the bracket, and I was talking to the Pella coach, and she was really disappointed because she wants to cheer for us. You know, her niece is on the team and stuff, so she wants to cheer for us. But that's hard when we're in the same region. Then actually, that winner will go play, and it's actually at Marion.
Okay. Marion, I'm sorry, not Solon. Excuse me.
Basically the same. But they're all the same up there. So it's yeah, they'll play, and we faced Marion at the Cedar Rapids Washington tournament. It was their second competitive date of the year. They had already played one. So they were still figuring things out. We went 3 with them. So yes, we have, you know, something on them. We will get some more when they are playing either Pella or Washington. So yeah, we'll figure out a game plan there. But I think it's very doable. I think we've got the best case scenario that we could for regionals. It hurt a little bit to be number 10 and be left out of the top 16, but if we're going to be left out and have this road, then we're going to be okay with it. So either way, you still have to win 3 games. It's still going to be a tough road no matter what. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be the time for the Indians to play the best ball of the year.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Indians a little bit here to end the segment. And first of all, so here late last couple weeks of the season, a couple losses to Indianola. What is it that what is it that Indianola does that causes problems for Oskaloosa? Because if you can figure that out, that definitely can help on this road to state, and especially if you get to Cedar Rapids.
Right. Well, number one was our lack of competitiveness in both matches. I felt in both matches we didn't show up to play, and we've got to take responsibility of that and take care of that first. Second of all, our serve receive was not where it needed to be. So they do serve tough, and the teams on this trail will serve tough at us, and we've got to figure that out. We can't just, pass a sky ball and expect our setters to get there and play out a system ball the entire time. So, just really focusing on making sure we're coming ready to play, being competitive, working on our serve receive, and then identifying their hitters, knowing where their strong hitters are, and then making sure that we've got four hands in front of them. We knew who the strong hitters were for Indianola, but for some reason, we were surprised every time number 15 got the ball and got a kill. So we knew where it was going, and we told the girls, and they, okay, yeah, got it. And somehow in between that, kind of forgot, or they were overdoing their other responsibilities, which was okay, but it's kind of one of those things where, like, okay, this is an exception game. Like, yes, you want to stay with those people, but in this exception, you've got to get in front of these people. So, again, that's one thing that we're going to be working on, because we know the hitters that these teams in the postseason are going to go to.
All right, so you talked about the new offense a little bit with both Jolie and Olivia out there. Is that something that you plan to continue in the postseason?
I think so, as of right now. So a split 5-1 means we're still running a 5-1. We still have 5 hitters, 1 setter. And instead of Jolie playing across the front row, we'll put Olivia in and play across the front row for her. So she'll set across the front row, Jolie will set across the back row. It actually works out pretty well because Olivia has a little bit of a height advantage, which means she has a little bit of a height advantage on the block as well. And then she can also get up and dump as a front row setter too. So, we've got some options there. Jolie plays some stronger defense. They both have a very tough serve. So that was a hard decision between who should serve, because they both have great serves for us. So, just getting Jolie back out there just for the leadership, for the consistency for the girls, and then bringing Olivia in for a little bit of a different look, and also for the offensive and defensive options in the front row.
Is that coming along well with your hitters then? I mean, that's 2 setters now they have to work with, and is that coming along well, you think?
I think so. We broke some things down on Friday, and had some middles and right side work with them. The outsides, they just do their thing. A high ball is a high ball type thing. So we're trying to work on the tempo of that, but we're not trying to press that into an uncomfortable tempo going into the postseason. So bring it down a little bit, not touching the ceiling, but also not skimming the top of the net. So trying to find the balance between those two and getting consistent between the girls. Both Jolie and Olivia work really, really well together, so they're communicating and just working with the hitters and taking feedback and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, it's going really well. So
you mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'll ask you to expand on it a little bit now. So do you feel the girls are ready for the postseason? I mean, they're primarily seniors, so they've been there, done that. They know what's on the line, and they know what it feels like to lose early and watch the rest of the postseason. So do you feel like they're ready? Do you see that kind of killer instinct coming out of them a little bit at this point?
I think so, because again, they were kind of like, why do we have to play Thursday? Like, let's start postseason now. And I'm like, I understand, but we're playing this conference tournament, and we've got to get a little bit more ready. So I definitely think so. I think they're excited about having a game at home. I think they know that if we win that game, then we go to Knoxville, and they're a little bitter about not getting a bye, but they're also like, hey, let's go get Knoxville. We've seen them, we know them. They're not too far. We'll have a crowd, like that type of thing. So I think they're totally okay with it. And then the Marion match, they've just talked about, like, you've got to take care of those other 2 to even get there. So we haven't talked too much about Marion because we know that we've got to get through 2 tough teams before we can get there. But absolutely, the girls are excited about it. We sat down and had just a check-in on Friday just about their goals and how we're doing on some of those things. They had a really good conversation between them and just gave us some really good feedback as to where they were.
All right. Well, we've knocked some things off this season that we haven't done in quite a while. One, we beat Pella. Haven't done that, I think, in 7 years or so. Tied for a conference championship. Haven't done that since your first year back in 2012, I think it was. So now it's time to knock another one and get back to Cedar Rapids. So
that's the plan.
Good luck to you and the girls. It's been a great season, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And we hopefully we'll see you all the way to Cedar Rapids, but if not, congratulations on what you guys have accomplished.
Thank you. It's been a really fun year. It's a great group of girls, and we've had a lot of great support, so thank you.
All right, that is Oskaloosa volleyball coach Jennifer Comfort joining us here on the Indians Corner. Again, the postseason starts on Wednesday night, tonight, at Oskaloosa High School Gym. It is a 7 p.m. first serve, and if you can't be there, we'll have it right here on the Indians Network for you. Looking forward to that as Oskaloosa takes on Carlisle in the volleyball 4A postseason. We'll take a break. We'll have more to come here on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee, right after this.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Shake the sugar tree till I feel you.
He was swinging. Yeah, just a swing. I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime.
You mind your own business. Mind your own business. Everybody in town knows I'm crazy over you.
Thunder Country, your all-time favorites.
Welcome back to this week's Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Jamie Brockman talking Oskaloosa cross country now with girls and boys coach Mike Comfort. And it is that time of year, Coach. It is nearing the end. Hopefully a couple more weeks to go, but you just had your conference meet. I know the regional districts have been announced. And why don't let's talk about your conference meet first. That was this past Monday at Edmondson, and you got lucky, got to host that at home, a familiar course for you.
Yeah, it was great to be at home, and it was perfect weather, and the kids ran really, really well. Great effort. It's what we focused on. I think most of our kids ran the best race of the year, so I was really happy. Patrick ran great. It was all conference, which as a sophomore is really, really good, and I was just happy for the kids.
Yep. What were some of your biggest surprises or moments at the conference meet, other than Patrick obviously making all conference? What else stood out to you?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a surprise. I expected him to do that. I just think our intensity and our focus, I know our course is hard, and we expect it to go somewhere else, and you sometimes never know when it's home if we're locked in and focused. But the kids, from the moment they showed up, were all there, and we ran really well because of that.
Do you feel like they're running their best right now when you need them to going into the postseason?
Absolutely. We've had our two best meets the last 2 weeks, and we had a great week of practice after conference, and so I feel really good going into district that we'll put our best foot forward.
All right. Well, let's talk about districts. Those were announced this past week. You know you're going to Pella, where I think you expected to go, and there's going to be some pretty tough competition there. So break down the district and regional for us.
Yeah, so kind of your ranked teams that got thrown into the district are Dallas Center, Grimes, Pella, and Norwalk, and a couple of the good teams like Winterset, Bondurant, some teams we've ran against before like Knoxville, Fairfield, Centerville, Clark, and then again a couple, but it's tough. Not as tough as conference. Conference is tough, and I feel good about the draw. I feel like if we can really run well, put our best foot forward, we could do some good things. And we ran there back in September at that course, so we're familiar with it. We just need to not stress and do our best.
What type of course is it? Is it a I mean, what are the challenges on this course?
Yeah, so it's a Central College cross country course. So it's a cross country only course. Some hills, but there's a lot of woods, a lot of turns, some rough footing. It's just a lot of rolling hills, elevation change. So you need to really stay focused on what you're doing and not just lull yourself to sleep.
Take us through the state qualifying procedure, the all-state, and how you qualify for state individually and as a team.
Yeah, so as a team, it's the top 3 teams at districts, and there's 12 teams there, and the top 15 individuals make it. And those 15 individuals, they don't distinguish between qualifying teams or not. So theoretically, all 15 of those runners could be on already qualifying teams, but usually there's a mix. State, it's the top 15 runners at state become all-state. So we feel good that we got a couple runners that could make it.
Where do you feel the cutoff will be as far as times? What kind of times do your kids need to be shooting for?
Boys need to be probably mid-17s, maybe depending on the day, 17:45. We've had Patrick with 17:30 on Monday. Girls, you're probably looking at 20:30, 20:45, somewhere around there, depending upon weather, who takes it out fast, etc.
Yep. So obviously you guys have been working all year to improve times, and you've been doing that. And it seems to be, obviously Patrick has stood out all year long. Do you feel there's other contenders that can get up there and qualify?
Yeah, Braden Van Kampen's starting. He's healthy, so he's there. And Caden Gerard, senior, had a great race at conference. I think those two, if they run well, can make it in. Girls, Addie Carter's got a great shot as well, and even someone like a Sage or an Abby. Just kind of depends on if they show up, bring their A game, and depending on everybody else does.
So this is a young team. We talked about that at the beginning of the season, and I think we've highlighted it a couple more times during the season. But this is a young team, so they've come a long way, and obviously you've got to be looking toward the future and feeling pretty strong about what they can accomplish.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this year. Hopefully we can put the cherry on the top and end well here, but we've kind of achieved what I've wanted to. We've got a great culture going on, great work ethic. We've got these kids more experience, got some confidence. They're starting to put together races that show they could run really fast a year or two from now. And so that's what kind of Thursday is about. Let's see how high we can go and kind of set the bar for the next couple of years. But yeah, everything's been great. I just like to see us finish strong.
So the district regional meet is going to be Thursday. It's going to be at Pella at the Central College Cross Country course. And for those of you watching this on MCG, that's tomorrow. What time is the meet, and where is a good place for people to go and catch the best views?
Sure. 4 o'clock is the girls and 4:30 is the boys. I would park over by the Central College track, and then you just walk right over to the cross country course. There'll be people directing you there. It's a great environment. If you've never been to a cross country meet, go to a district meet. The atmosphere is electric, and it's pretty fun. It's a great spectator course. You can stand in 1 or 2 spots and see them come by 2 or 3 times, or even more.
Looks like weather might be, pretty decent. This time of year you never know what you're going to get, but it doesn't look all that bad.
No, I think upper 40s and the lower 50s. To me, I'm worried about wind and rain. I don't see any major wind or rain, and so if we're not going to get that, we'll be fine. And sometimes you can get a hot day this time of the year, but we'll be fine. It'll be good weather for Thursday.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck to you, the girls and the boys, and hopefully we got some things to talk about next week about some state qualifiers.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I can bring back some good news.
All right. That is Mike Comfort. He is the head girls and boys cross country coach at Oskaloosa High School. Again, it's postseason time for cross country as the district meet is going on Thursday at 4 o'clock, starting with the girls and the boys, and the girls will follow, right? Is that what you said?
Other way around. Sorry.
Okay,
girls and boys. I don't know what I said. Girls and boys. Yep.
All right, got it mixed up. Girls and then the boys follow at Central College course there in Pella on Thursday. We'll take a break. We'll have more to come here on the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee coming up.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! And the winner by unanimous decision, Hy-Vee!
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's edition of the Indians Corner here on the Indians Network. And thanks to everybody who came in and joined us. Oskaloosa football offensive coordinator Brett Dowd. Also senior players Cody Gunn and Colton Butler. Good to catch up with them. Thanks to Oskaloosa volleyball coach Jennifer Comfort. Good luck to the girls tonight, Wednesday night, as they host Carlisle in the opening round of the 4A regional tournament. And also thanks to Coach Mike Comfort coming in, updating us on girls and boys cross country as they get ready for their postseason this week as well. District meet coming up at Pella. So coming up Friday night for the final week of regular season, again in District 7 3A, it's going to be Pella at Grinnell, Newton at Knoxville, and the game you'll see here on the Indians Network will be Oskaloosa hosting South Tama. And again, everybody will be watching close late Friday night into Saturday morning to see if Oskaloosa is one of the 16 that gets in to the Class 3A playoffs, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. So again, thanks for watching this week. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with another edition of Indians Corner next week, as we'll be into the postseason for all of the fall sports. It is certainly an exciting time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. The Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Go Indians!